Right, now after finally imprinting the fuse on him, we now have to follow him back to Dogenzaka. Just like the first time, really, even the dialogue's the same. And ours too, probably. Still not entirely sure why the shopkeeper... I guess, you know, being a member of a semi-high-profile band who was in need of a replacement part, yeah, pretty understandable he couldn't sell it. Now, I accidentally scrolled this section a bit fast, but if you go back here, but this alternate dialogue will play if you manage to get the cough drops. Yes, the side quest is actually, well, kind of important. And it also makes this, you know, the dialogue between 777 and the tech end on a more positive note as well. Sorry, I scrolled this too fast. Anyway, for completing that side quest though, you get this. A very rare pin that's worth 20,000 yen. Don't sell it though. You won't understand why until, like, right at the very end of the game. Well, in the post-game really, but suffice to say it's one of those pins you trade in for rare items. Now before heading onto the stage, you'll probably want to prepare. Yeah, it's kind of obvious what's coming up next. Of course, the title of the mission was a pretty serious clue that something ominous would be happening. And the power's gone again, but there's probably not enough time to solve this. Thankfully, this problem is going to be solved in a much more epic way. Here we go, probably the first major boss of the game, and kind of a puzzle boss in a way. Vespertilio Canor, the Master of A East. Although, because its name is completely unpronounceable, I like to refer to it as simply the Big Bat. Anyway, as you'll see, the Big Bat is accompanied by lots of small bats that are feeding on the power cables. If you kill the ones on the power cables, eventually that will restore the lights, and that's the only time the Big Bat is vulnerable. So yeah, once it's been stunned, just wail on it with all your attacks. Of course, eventually the lights will go out. Don't even bother trying to attack it while the lights are out. But this situation is where Shiki's jump attack is really useful. As you'll notice here, it's good for taking out the cable-feeding bats.
And die.
Of course, here also, if you get a fusion though, best to use that, because one fusion will instantly wipe out all the bats on the top screen, thereby rendering the Big Bat on the bottom screen vulnerable. And yeah, just hit it with a barrage of attacks. I have a feeling it's gonna, yep, get the lights back off again. But yeah, just try and focus your attacks on the bottom screens, but also focus on getting fusion. In a way, because you just earned fusion in this day, this battle is kind of another disguised tutorial on fusion. In semi-Zelda style. Of course, if you get fusion while the bat is stunned, wait until the lights go off before you use it again, otherwise you'll just waste it. That was a pretty ominous freeze frame there. Right now I think it's finally gone. And that is mission complete. Most likely. And of course we get some stuff out of it, like we do for completing most missions. Yeah, when you get Scarletite, it's a good sign that the mission is over.
What?
Or not. Right, that was... Surely that had to be the... We beat the huge boss, that must be... Oh. Epic entrance time. Okay, so we basically had to let them save us. So the boss wasn't the mission? Well, it seems that thing was the cause of the lighting problems. And at least that part of the story is going to be fine. Now, interestingly, if you actually think about it, that's actually kind of foreshadowed in the fact that defeating the Big Bat didn't actually show the boss erasure animation. It just disappeared like an ordinary noise. That's pretty much an indication that, yeah, beating it isn't the end of the mission. And yes, basically, while you were out gathering your own info for the mission, Bede and Ryan were doing their own scouting, and it turns out that you both found out crucial things about two different halves of the mission, but you needed to put both of them together to win. Of course, yeah, they couldn't have done it alone either. So yes, very much a power of friendship solves anything ending here.
Ah!
Well, of course they were freaking out. They only had 10 seconds left before everyone would die.
Ah!
And so everything ends on a very positive note here. Even Neku's laughing here. And here's the big reveal, which Neku knew the whole time, and it was kind of obvious. When you think about it, yeah, people in the real ground can't see players, and players can't talk to them. And it was a little bit suspicious that the band suddenly had a problem that 777 was there offering players to fix it. Yeah, I think it's implied that he was probably involved in the mission somehow. You know, being a Reaper and all. And yes, like what Mr. H says, the only real ground people who can see you and talk to you are shopkeepers. And yes, Mr. H is still quite, well, mysterious. He seems kinda apart from both players and Reapers, but this thing he's explaining here is another absolutely crucial part of the story. which basically renders losing your entry fee totally redundant. Except though, well, actually not really so much, but there can be some cases where, let's just say an entry fee doesn't have to completely involve you. Wait, was that? Well, Neku's certainly having a change of heart here. Yeah, thankfully she doesn't make an enormous friendship speech here. But in a way though, that kind of thing is sort of justified, because like I've said before, this is pretty much a world that runs on the power of friendship. And that line she just said there actually kind of weird, since I recently played Metroid Other M, but I'm not going to say anything about that because it's completely irrelevant here. Well, technically you could kind of trust 777 because he wasn't one of those Reapers who try to erase you, but yay, everything's happy. And now we cut to ominous Evil Council of Doom scene. Because this is the first time, well, they're silhouetted of course, but the first time you see the Head Reapers, who will be making a bigger impact on the story later on. So there's not so much I can say here, just general. You know, you can't really have an RPG without Evil Council of Doom scenes. Ooh. And on that note, see you in the next day.